Hello, I am Mike of the Enough Dice. This is the Kerbal Space Program. We're looking at Discovery 2, which has lost one of its solar panels. Because it managed to actually crash into, I was, much to my surprise, managed to crash into the SSTO rocket. As it was leaving. In fact, before it was leaving, while both of them were basically stationary, but drifting relative to each other, and they managed to collide. But anyway, that's not what I'm actually really all interested in. What I'm interested in, this might be easy to do a slightly different way. I'm wondering if Megjeb is slightly smarter than me, which is probably not that difficult now I think about it. I have a couple of these are items that are left open over from old contracts. That I actually lost the contracts, but the objects are still around, which is kind of interesting. So there's a device all the way out here, device XCQ. And way in here, there's Cena's heap. And in fact, there's Gregny's wreckage as well. No. That might be easier. I was kind of wondering whether or not Megjeb is smart enough to plan nodes for that. So let's go for Huntman transfer to maybe one. Pork chop selection. Well, apparently yes. Now, obviously, I'm not going to be able to do it with this craft. This craft doesn't have anything like the Delta V required. So allegedly that is going to be 2085 Delta V. And obviously I'm going to need more on the way back. And I'll need some to actually make some kind of contact. But... and I'm not going to be leaving for nearly a year. But yeah, other than all of those slight problems. Okay. So, where can I reset that? Reset. Oh, I can just recalculate. That's not what I wanted. But let's try Gregny's wreckage. That's actually going to be more Delta V. And it's much closer to being a whole year away. That's interesting. So it's actually going to be easier to get to this further away thing. Huh. And let's try Cena's heap. That's nearly 3,000 Delta V. Well, that one's quite close. Now, this is actually where it would probably be a good idea to bring up. There's like an external program. I think you use math and bits and pieces to calculate. You know when NASA does a lot of these missions, they start saying, well, the first thing we did, we're trying to get something to Jupiter. The first thing we did is we sent it around Venus. Like, what? And then it goes around the Earth again, then again around Venus and around Earth, and then it goes to Jupiter. And it's possible to set those up. There are tools you can get, not within KSC itself. So you'd need a separate thing to do that. Oh, allegedly I can go get this one in just a few days. But it'll take a while to get there. So there's the node. There you go. And you just refine it as you go. Oh, it's interesting. I believe my ELU probe has completely failed to get ELU. I don't know where's ELU's all the way over there. Yeah, I've just given up on the ELU probe. I wonder if I should try and see if I can get it back into Kerbal. Anyway, how very interesting. This might be... oh, that's interesting. The the maneuver node is massively changing. That's quite fascinating. Massively changing how much it needs. That's really weird. Huh. Where else? What else can we do? So we'll kill that. So that was going for an asteroid for no good reason. Alright, let's try Gregny's wreckage again. So that's 2002. Well, Gregny's wreckage is going to be quite a while. So device, when's that? Device XCQ, 230 odd, 236 days away. Sheena's heap, 27 days, and requires nearly 3,000 delta V to get from Kerbal. Let's try creating the node and see if that... Okay, so that's not doing that weird thing that was happening with that other one. Though it is changing a little bit, which is kind of weird. Now, obviously, I don't have that amount of delta V, and this is not the craft you'd want to take anyway, because I'm supposed to, if I remember the contract, I'm supposed to grab this person, and then bring them back. So that is an interesting idea. Maybe I should go try that kind of thing. That gives me, well, the main thing I'm getting from this is some vague indication of how much delta V I'm going to need. Admittedly, what I particularly want to be able to do is do the opposite. What delta V am I going to need to get back? It is not necessarily true that just because it took, like, it's taking essentially 3,000 delta V to get there. It's not necessarily going to be 3,000 delta V to get back. So I might need to do some more maneuver planning to get some ideas. What I know about it is a Class A object discovered 10 years ago, orbiting the Sun. And is all the information I have. So it's no more than a few meters across. That is also Class A. Also Class A. So I really don't know anything about these. I don't know how much they weigh, because the original contract, which I have since lost, is go get these things. Don't just, don't just go look at them. Go get them. So I wonder what kind of thing I would need to build to do that. Watching the landscape. Is that all the landscape we're going to get? Am I going to get more landscape? Flooding. No, we're getting more landscape. That's all right. It turned out okay. Those far off mountains, they look really sweet. Now, I did create an asteroid redirect mission, which would presumably be, I mean, this is obviously vaguely related to what I'm doing here. Trying to look at just how much delta V am I likely to want to use. Loady load. I mean, I think I can load that up as a starting point. I really wish you could get. There is, as always, there are mods to this, but I would really love to be able to make subfolders. I would also like to get dates, because I don't know asteroid capture and asteroid intercept. I don't know. I think asteroid capture was the later one. Alright, so this is the whole beast. So let's grab everything. Grab that stack separator, get rid of everything else. And get rid of this stuff. So not exactly a complicated thing here. Clearly. But out of that, see, this has only got 3,622, so it would theoretically get there, but it wouldn't be able to get back. It's got a cluster of 48 7S's. Also really using an old. Man, this must be old. There's no way I would have sent this out without Gigantors if I didn't have I just didn't have them. What? Okay, which one's that one? O1S, 001S. Oh no, that was actually pretty good for its time. Maneuver hold target tracking, that's pretty good. So I had a bit of SAS running on there. Quite a lot of RCS. I mean RCS. Had quite a lot actually. So presumably, my original intention had been to get onto this asteroid and then move it about. Yet again, I'm going to have just a play with the LVNs because they're just supposed to be so good. You know, they're supposed to be for exactly this kind of purpose. But oh, that actually does. That's probably not. I mean, probably not enough to get there and back again. That is noticeably. So I can swap. That's almost 1,000 extra delta V. 3622. 4573. So that's nearly 1,000 extra delta V, which is actually not bad. Need more delta V. Obviously, you know, just whack on more fuel. But then I'd have to remove all of those, but that's okay. Or I could get rid of the monoprop and use burner engines for RCS instead of. That's not a bad idea. I wonder what happens if I do that. So we actually get rid of this entirely. And these will go. And instead, what you do is use these beasties. Now I should, well, in theory I should try and put them like on either side of the center of mass. I should also have them have the right number. But of course the center of mass is going to change as you burn fuel, so that's kind of when you start to use the clever MechJeb RCS management. So would this be enough? I would probably also, well, obviously I need a MechJeb on this because I'm clearly incapable of flying rockets on my own anymore. I'll have solar panels, which is going to be pretty cool. Well, actually won't be cool, it'll be hot. If I'm going for utility. If I'm going for the sun, can I? I have to find the radiators. I don't know where they are in this deployable radiator. Ooh, that's quite big. It says large. It's not kidding. Well, it seems like a okay. Let's go down to medium. Medium I could cope with, I think. Does a lot of damage to my Delta V though, but I would be trying to get very, very close to the sun if I was going for that inner one. So I'd actually have to add some more. Definitely want to add some more fuel. And this is still assuming that it's going to cost me about the same to get in there, to get back out again as a cost to get me in there in the first place. That's being annoying. Fuel tanks. Whoop, that's not a good idea. Ooh, that did the exact opposite of what I wanted. That may well be the curse of. Oh, I know why. Keep forgetting if you're using the nukes, you get rid of all the oxidizer. Shows how heavy this thing is. It still brings the weight way back here. That gives me a bit more room to put things on places. But that didn't actually do, well, what was it? What am I getting here? 6738 versus 5584. So it's only really adding about 1,000 Delta V. And I don't even know if that's enough. It's probably enough for it to get there. But will that be enough to bring it back into Kerbal orbit? And I don't even know how I would go about. I don't know how I can go about estimating it, other than saying, well, presumably it's about half of what I've got. If it all goes horribly wrong, then the possibility is that I use, as long as I can get vaguely into Kerbal's sphere of influence, even if I don't have enough to stop. And I've suddenly realized that so I'm very casually saying it was about 3,000 to get there. That's not including slowing down when it gets at matching speeds. And that's probably going to be a huge amount. So I'm going to have a bit of a think about this and see if I can actually make a craft that is going to have the amount of fuel required in order to get there, and whether I'm going to launch it in one go or if I'm going to do something else entirely. So there you go. I've got much to think about. Thanks so much for watching. Do please hit like and subscribe if you're enjoying these videos. Come visit nearlifedice and nearlifedice.com. And until next time, reach for the stars and make sure you bring off Delta V.